Hey Capricorn, Kendrick from Providence Tarot here, coming for you. Okay? I'm not coming for you, Cap. I'm coming to you. Okay? With your January 2019 tarot reading. Happy New Year. It is literally 2019. Today. And I am really still feeling the remnants and the echo from 2018, but you know what? I'm gonna let it go, right? Because what does Saturn teach us? Saturn teaches us that there are some things that we cannot control. We have to roll with the punches. We have to deal with things. And at the bottom of the deck that I've just shuffled for you, you started out with the Kachina Juggler as your overall energy here. Well, this is at the bottom of the deck, right? So, bam! Kind of like a good solid foundation of the reading. You're dealing with changes, you're dealing with fluctuations of material things, physical things. Some of you might be dealing with changes in your body. You might be trying to get your bodies together. Some of you might be trying to deal with your finances. Some of you actually might be having a little bit better of a handle on your finances. And some of you are just trying to figure out, like, if you even have the possibility to invest money anywhere. Some of you are really just trying to save, honestly. And it's like you're trying to make sure that you're paying bills on time. It's like you might be waiting for a bill not to be late, but you might be waiting for like a week or two before you pay that bill if you paid another one recently or something like that, that type of thing. Some of you might be dealing with some paperwork that you might have to sign. There might be another person involved that's helping you deal with these things. You might be taking a closer look at your finances in terms of this paperwork. It might be some information that you might have to share, that you may be, sensitive information, that type of thing. But this is all legal. This is all, fair and just, so it's not like anybody's like stealing information from you or anything like that. Just understand that you're going to experience a fluctuation of like feelings in terms of how this is going, just because it's like when you're dealing with documents and like having accurate information and stuff like that, it gets a little tentative. So you might just be annoyed by that type of thing. And some of you may not have enough money to take care of something that you wanted to take care of or do, something like that. Let's go ahead and look at the center of your reading. I pulled up the astrology chart right here, and right now, in you guys' sign, you have the sun. So happy birthday, Capricorn. I know that you guys are probably feeling really good. You got the sun in your sign, and you're probably feeling very full of vitality and very alive. Some of the focus and some of the energy is on you, so that's a great thing. Your ruling planet is in your sign, Saturn, and Pluto is also there, so it's bringing about some very transformative energy, right? There's some some grand efforts going on in terms of having some things change for you guys in a grand way, in a big way, in a more pivotal way, in a way that's going to bring about some longevity, right? That type of thing. Change for the better, change for the good, right? Permanent change, that type of thing for you. In your third house of communication, you have Neptune, and Mars is going into Aries very, very soon. Your third house is Pisces, okay, and that's ruled by Gemini. We know that, so that's like double mutable energy right there. You got Neptune there. Neptune is actually a planet of, kind of like disruptions in a way. Like it disrupts things because it's got some escapism there. It's got like a tendency to be a little bit all over the place and to be a little bit aloof, not being able to take control of like some things, yeah. And that's kind of funny because, the Kachina Juggler, the Two of Pentacles, is really about controlling something materially, right? Not letting things get out of control in terms of like your money, your spending. You guys might actually be like, this is also Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Sag right now. So the fact that Jupiter is in Sag for all of us means that some of us have to really like slow it down a little bit and not let ourselves get too overzealous or get too wrapped up in like the changes and the fluctuations that happen, the abundance of it all and the good times and all of that. You guys feeling okay out there? I know if you're drunk as hell, you're probably not watching this video. Anyway, in the center of the reading, we're starting out right now with the Three of Swords. So some of you are dealing with some harsh realities, some harsh truths. There's something that you know right now that you can't change about a situation, and you can't even do anything about it. It's like all you're really left to do is just kind of like feel some kind of way, and you're thinking about how this is going to change things for you, honestly. Like things are really starting to formulate in a different way. It's like, you know, when someone does something and you feel like they're not really as you suspected the whole time, or you know, that type of thing. Like you can't really rely on the information that you've been given the whole time, because you've been giving something that's been a harsh truth that sort of slapped you in the face, and that type of thing is like really hard to deal with, right? It's kind of painful in a psychological way, because you might be a little bit heartbroken, some of you, honestly. Some of you are feeling a little bit heartbroken over a relationship, because this is the Justice card that's as your immediate influence and is your challenge, right? So you're challenged by the harsh truths about a relationship that you've been trying to work on right here with this Jupiter and Capricorn, right? The Two of Pentacles. You've been weighing things out. You've been trying to see what this really does mean for you. And that's what I was thinking, like, right before I was starting to do this reading, I was like, they must be thinking about like the meaning behind something, and whether or not they want to just continue to like put any energy or focus or effort, or try to, you know, balance things out, or try to, you know, bring any kind of harmony to a situation that, you know, they might be feeling like bad about. You may have given up on something. It may be a relationship that you might be feeling like you might want to give up on. Like, you know, I have Saturn in my first house, so, you know, I have a Capricorn experience, you know. Yeah, so some of you might be dealing with a Libra, and some of you actually might even be dealing with a Scorpio, definitely. You guys are definitely feeling intuitively like this was something that was going to be happening anyway. Some of you already expected this to happen, you know what I mean? Because as you go through some experiences with someone, some of you already knew what was going to happen before it actually even happened. This is sort of just like the stamp of approval, right? The gavel. Bam. You're really trying to weigh things down. You're really trying to understand. You have so many Libra type cards here, okay? Because the Justice card is here. That's obviously Libra. Relationships, bonds, contracts, you know, money, that type of thing, beauty. And then you've got the Three of Swords here, which is Saturn in Libra, restricted within a relationship based on some information that provided some harsh truths for you, trying to figure it out. What the fuck am I going to do about this now? You know what I mean? It's almost like you're in a rock in a hard place, that type of thing. Is that how they say it? Whoever this is, whatever relationship this is, you've been trying to work it out, and you're just realizing that it's not going to work out in the way that you had hoped. That type of thing. And that's like two Libra cards, right? Bam, on top. You got, bam, the Justice. That's almost like Sun in Libra. And then, you know, Saturn in Libra is exalted. So it's like really understanding that there's some things that you can't control, right? There are some things that you can't make somebody do. If there's something, the way that somebody might be doing something, how they might be doing something, who they might be doing it with, you know, when they might be doing it, all that kind of stuff, you can't control it. You know, so if somebody has moved on from you and you're realizing that, or you're realizing the fact that they may have moved on so quickly, or something like that, or their behavior, something like that, even, you know, you can't change that shit. You just have to understand that that is there, and it is meant for you to take that information, take that harsh truth, the harsh reality, and appropriate it in a way that is going to be to your best interest. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you giving that information to begin with? It's almost like having the answer but continuing to ask the question. Like, what did you, I just told you what the answer was, honey. Now you're not learning. Now you're like choosing not to learn from this. Anyway, in the past, right, there might have been somebody that lied to you in the past, because you got the hosting coyote, which is the magician in this Native American tarot deck. So this is talking about something that, there was a change of focus, right? There was the awareness of something. It could have been the truth about something, but it could have been the awareness of, like, the information, right? What did the information prompt for you in your mind, right? Because this is Gemini. Yeah? So there definitely is some truth going on here. And the information is what brought about the truth. And the information could have come, in the form of a realization that someone lied, or someone has been lying, or someone has been very tricky, or somebody has been sort of like disconnected from something, maybe, from an experience, or they just might be disconnected and they might be doing like some, petty things. Maybe somebody is not focused enough. You know what I mean? This is probably what the situation is. This is something that's been going on in the past, right? There was a lack of focus from someone at 11/11, right? I started saying that. So focus was an issue in the past for sure. Definitely. And that might have to do with like time issues, like someone not wanting to spend a certain amount of time, or spending too much time with somebody, or someone, not wanting to spend as much time with somebody because they wanted to, just kind of like, I don't know, be a little bit of a player. I mean, like, that's possible, because the magician is somebody that's a little bit of a trickster, and a trickster is kind of a player, right? That's what I would say. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Hey, maybe even if you have Saturn in the first house, let's go there too. I'm going to leave the future cards until the end. But let's go into your Sun position and see like what like how you're like really bringing energy into the situation. Okay, so some of you are falling back from this, right? And there's another Libra card there in the Sun position. So some of you are dealing with a Libra. Some of you actually might be Libras. Some of you might have a Libra moon, or, be Capricorn Sun with Libra rising, or Capricorn Sun with Libra moon, or something like that. Some kind of, mix. But it's the Scout, okay? 4 blades in the Sun position. The Scout. You guys will get familiar with this Native American deck as I continue to use it. Also, plug, Dale is doing Providence Tarot West out there in the Oakland, San Francisco area, so you guys be on the lookout for Providence Tarot West. On YouTube, you'll be getting double the messages. You can look at his, you can look at mine. And then we're both going to be on our Instagram page doing our readings, weekly readings like that. You know what I mean? So that's awesome too. So you get just getting like double. Anyway, yes, so the Scout, that's Jupiter again. So you guys are definitely feeling a little bit overwhelmed by something. You got Jupiter a lot in this reading so far, twice. Overwhelmed, scattered by something. Maybe there's like an abundance of information, or maybe there's an overwhelming feeling of something. You guys are really feeling like you want to fall back from someone. A lot of you might even be having your Saturn return right now. For those of you who are between the ages of 28 and 31. If you're 31, it's coming a little bit late, and that's rare. I had mine around 30, 31. That, Anyway, yeah, so you guys are really falling back. You're trying to bring some clarity to your mind by making an effort to restructure your thoughts, right? You need to take a step back. You do have the 3 of Swords here in the center of the reading, right, presently. But then as well in the Sun position, because of that, you really want to take a step back, gain some mental clarity, maybe from some divine source. You definitely want to put the energy and the effort to feeling better. Put the energy and the effort, into implementing your own basis of like solitude. You know what I mean? It's like you guys might even be trying to meditate. You might be even reading a little bit more, spending a little bit more quiet time, or you might even be going back to like the structures of family, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, that's basic structure of the 4, right? That's like mother, father, child, and the home, right? So you're probably communicating, just getting tapped back into your family source, your familial source, because you know that is always going to be there, and that's never going to be there to get in the way of anything. It's for, you know, some people out there might be having some family issues, but I don't see that in this reading. So you're really getting back to that place, and you're realizing that it's up to you to actually quantify who you believe yourself to be, right? And it's not up to anybody else to sort of like make up those elements that are missing from your life. It really is up to you to do that, and you know what those things are, right? So when you go out there and you start trying to you know, I don't really see that you've been escaping in as much in this reading right here, but when you go out there and you start to, you know, try to like do things that take your mind off of a certain situation or circumstance that might be, you know, plaguing your mind a little bit in a different way. It's not like you're forcing yourself to worry over something. It's like it really is something that you're just like, man, it's a harsh reality. But you're dealing with it, and that's great. And you're starting to like level out. You're starting to like, you know, recalibrate your mind and your spirit, because that's something that you definitely have to like clear out that the exhaust from that, right? We all have to do that. We always have to do that, because you know, once you find out something that you can't change that actually might be hurtful, then you know you got to do something with those thoughts. You got to go somewhere, right? Now let's look at your emotions. Let's see how you're feeling about everything here. Okay, look, right, exactly. The matriarch of pipes, the queen of wands. Okay, you're being boss about it. You know what you got to do. Stepping up to the plate, right? Put your makeup on, tie the hair up, pull it back, roll the sleeves up, or hey, maybe you're getting cute. You are putting energy into you, right? Because this is fixed. Actually, this is not fixed. I'm sorry. Correction. This is cardinal fire. So this is Aries energy, right? So you really are focusing on yourself. You're taking time to put energy and efforts into yourself, right? Because you understand that emotionally it's up to you, right? To provide yourself with the experiences that are going to enrich and nurture you, provide you with what it is that you need. Yes, you're initiating this, right? You really are stepping up and being about it on your own. Some of you might be dealing with a fire sign that might be affecting you emotionally. Maybe this person that you have this emotional attachment to, that you're dealing with these harsh truths and these harsh realities with, is this fire sign, right? Or there's a need to express something, right? You may want to reach out to this fire sign person and tell them what it is. You know, or you know, maybe you want to communicate with them in some form, some way. You guys actually could be reaching out to a friend or a mother, a female person who has that fiery energy, who's always been there to support you and not necessarily tell you what it is that you need to hear. They tell you what you need to hear that is actually worthwhile. It's not like they're telling you these lies that you want to hear. They're telling you what you want to hear, but then they're also telling you what you need to hear. You know what I mean? Because it's like, this person, you probably rely on them to sort of like take you out of these places when you get there in this depth of emotion. You know, this emotional awareness is strong. So you kind of like need them to kind of like help take you out of it. Some of you might be relying on your mother for some emotional insight. You know, she might actually be giving you some really great advice in terms of her experiences and her evolutions, in terms of, you know, her life experiences, because you do have a queen here in the moon position, so that really does talk about mother, that type of energy right there. You know, this person is very energetic, enthusiastic. You know, like I said, you can rely on them. You can trust their word as well. They're going to protect you too. So this person could be, you know, being very protective of you and your emotions right now in terms of other people. You know, they probably don't even want other people to get involved or be talking to you about it, because you've been relying on them so much and they know so much about the situation that it's like they feel like if anybody else gets involved, then it's just going to kind of like cloud your judgment or make you consider too many different variables, right? And then they just kind of open things up, so they might be being protective over your emotions with other people. Okay, let's just continue. Now, there's lots of messages here in this reading, so this isn't for just one person. You know, I'm just pulling out, you know, a few different things. So there's that, you know. Some of you could have been relying on someone as a resource for information to find out more about a person that you might have been involved in a relationship with. I don't know where that came from, but some of you are out there sleuthing around. You know, with social media these days, it's like if you really do give a fuck about finding something out about somebody, you can go on their page and see what they're doing. But if they're smart, they'll be, you know, they'll just be lazy about that page that they know that you know about. I don't know. You know, some people they do like to go on. They like to go on. I mean, I haven't been this person, but I can understand. I've been this person in like real life. They like to go on and see what you're doing on social media, and then they want to sort of like be all salty about it. And you're like, but bitch, you were coming on and looking, and you were sleuthing, you were finding out. You were finding out. Okay? Anyway. Now let's look at where your anxieties are. Honey, let's see. What's going on? Okay, your anxieties are within the happiness that you shared within this relationship, right? It's almost like you were hopeful that there was going to be like some kind of like family situation going on. Like you saw a future with this person. You saw like all of the things that meant really great things about being in a relationship and having it progress and having it move forward and having it grow and having it be nurtured and having the environment be filled with love and wholesomeness and all of this stuff. You're having anxieties about that, right? You have to deal with the reality of the truth, right? About the change of focus, right? You're having anxieties about like just reimagining something in a different way than what you had hoped for, right? Because this is the 10 of cups, 10 of vessels in the anxieties position. Or some of you actually might be dealing with family. You know, I did sort of like hint at that earlier when I said, you know, I don't see any family relationships here that seem to be going awry over something, but you know, this could be it. Some of you could be having a difficult time with a fire sign mother, right? It's causing issues in the family. Some of you could be having anxieties about not being able to go as far in a relationship as you had hoped for, that you wanted to put some energy, effort, and time into, right? Because the ones are talking about possibilities, the awareness of the possibilities of something. Yeah, 1 and 0. 0 is neither in or out. 0 is really chance. Anything can happen at this point. That's what you're saying. I know that anything can happen at this point based on what I've been seeing. So you're having anxieties about that. You almost have want to throw your hands in the air. Some of you guys. Oh, the card then flipped up. Okay, y'all throwing stuff? Don't be throwing stuff out there. Y'all let folks, because that's when you get, honey, when you get pressing charges and shit. When you're pressing charges, like your charges pressed. Okay, shoot. Some card is trying to stick out. I might pull it on, I might flip it on out. But, you know, until then, we're going to continue reading these cards. Now, let's look at what's going on in the Mars position. This could be a man. Oh, you guys have like quite the number of, you have like low numbers right now. It's like, except for the 11, which is the Justice card, which is like the higher octane of, you know, 2. That's like Gemini energy. It's High Priestess energy. It's Justice card energy, Libra. It's also, you know, Strength card energy in some decks. Whoa. Justice card don't play. So in the Mars position, you guys got the 2 of Wands, the Trapper, which is Mars and Aries. And it's so funny because let me just go ahead and look at my pad here, because Mars, I believe, is just about to go into Aries right now. And I need to take a look and see which house that is for you. Yeah, literally Mars is transiting Aries. Let's take a look at where it's going. Mars enters Aries. No, Mars is actually in Aries, okay? Work. So it just got there. Just got there literally like within the last 24 hours. So Mars is in Aries. You got Mars in Aries right here in your Mars position, the Trapper. This is really making a decision to do something on your own, right? This is making really bold plans. This is sort of like just going ahead and doing it. You know, not really caring what anyone says, not really seeking anyone's approval. This is also you just kind of like taking the energy and effort to focus on you. You could be focusing on someone else, but it's kind of like if you guys are sharing a responsibility. But this is really like you're taking on that responsibility on your own. And when I look at what house this is for you, right? I was talking about the 3rd house that's ruled by Gemini. For you, your 3rd house is Pisces. That's mutable energy. So there are some things that needed to be satisfied and fulfilled there. Right? Now Mars is going out of that house for you, right? Where that energy has been. Some sacrifices have been made. You know, you've probably been feeling victimized by some of your choices that you've been making. Or maybe other people have been feeling some kind of way. But now Mars is going into Aries, and that's your 4th house of home and family. And maybe there's going to be, you know, some things going on in the family. Maybe there's going to be some stuff going on where people are going to be really kind of like, you know, dealing with each other. Putting some energy into figuring this stuff out. What's going on. But, you know, in about 5 or 6 days, this is January 1st, by the way, 2019. In maybe like 5 or 6 days, Uranus is actually going to be direct again. It's at the end of Aries. It's probably, let's see, Uranus is probably like at 29 degrees or Aries or something like that. I don't even know. Let's see, let me look. Yeah, it's in Aries. It's going direct on January 6th. So yeah, you know, this is really just talking about definitely taking responsibility, holding yourself accountable, doing what it is that you need to do, not really worrying about anyone else, and just going about your own business, really. You're like, I'm going to mind my own business right now. But it's like you're putting energy and effort into, you know, balancing things out, making plans, maybe doing activities, keeping yourself kind of busy, right? I feel like a lot of you are going to be there. It's easy to do that now because we're not getting distracted by like, you know, summertime, springtime, fall time events, things where we can like be outside. You know, it was raining here in New York for New Year's for the ball drop. I feel bad for those people. I don't know like how they stood out there. And you can't have umbrellas. You cannot have umbrellas. It's raining, cold, New York City. December, January. Let's look at your Venus placement. So this is sort of like, you know, the advice, the pleasures, things like that. How are we going to build more contentment, right? Oh, and look, you got the card for contentment. It's the 6 of Cups. Are you guys dealing with a lover from the past? Because the Venus placement is basically that. You know, And then this is the Six of Cups, which has like Gemini energy. It has the Lover's energy in it. It's Scorpio. Some of you might be dealing with Scorpios out there. And if you're not dealing with the Scorpio, in terms of that person's birth chart, they may have some energy in that 8th house. Their sun might be in their 8th house or something like that. Some of you might actually be thinking about a Scorpio that's coming back from the past, or you might be thinking about a Scorpio from the past. You know, you are Capricorn, you are Earth, so that energy, it works. Something from June. They might even come back from the past in June or something like that. This could be a Virgo for some of you guys. What is your 6th house? Let's see what that is for you in terms of who rules your 6th house. I think that's Gemini. There we go. So actually, Gemini, the Lovers, rules this card. So some of you actually might be dealing with a Gemini. You might be dealing with a Scorpio, right? Or even a Virgo. That's even possible. But it's saying that this person is somebody that you guys have been thinking about. These are like some feelings of nostalgia that make you feel kind of like secure, right? You guys might even need to be going back to some things creatively that made you feel emotionally fulfilled. You know, this isn't a 3, but it is a water card. And creativity definitely comes from an emotional place. Sometimes it comes from a psychological place, and sometimes it comes from a physical place where people can do things, so they have to create that thing that they can do or build. But you guys are builders, you know what I mean? Anyway, there definitely is energy that's going to be coming from like a relationship from the past, or maybe you're thinking about a relationship from the past, or maybe you're just trying to seek emotional contentment, you know? That's what you should do. Take yourself out of the turmoil, out of the melee, right? Focus on you, making yourself feel better, good, right? That's Sun and Scorpio energy, by the way. Okay. So there's some people here in your reading. Okay, so the future cards, let's see. Oh, word, honey. Definitely some truths going on, right? There are going to be some people involved in getting the truth out. There are going to be some people involved in, you know, speaking the truth. There are going to be some people that you might actually encounter from the past. It could be an Aquarius here, because this is the energy moving forward in the outcome. That's double air. Could be a Capricorn, could be you. But this person is somebody that I feel like you can trust. This is someone that you can talk to, that you can confide in. You know, they're gonna let you. They're gonna let you know when you're being a little bit like too imaginative, right? When you're starting to like get a little bit too crazy psychologically, or your thought patterns might just be kind of like driving you crazy, and they kind of like help to bring you back down to earth. You know, you're having panic attacks. This could be somebody that might actually be around that, you know, kind of helps you like calm down. Some of you actually might need to, you know, separate yourselves from all of the activity, you know, bring yourself to some quiet time, maybe spend some time alone, you know, doing things on your own. And it's not just to like, you know, be defensive or protect yourself. It is to protect yourself. You've got to protect your energy, you know what I mean? So I'm really giving you that message too. Some of you need to protect your energy, and you need to look out for your own, you know, mental clarity and stuff like that moving forward, right? In this new year, really just focus on you, and you know, let everything go on around you, you know what I mean? Because it will continue to, and don't ignore that. But definitely put more energy and focus into the time that you spend with yourself and your experience, right? What are you getting out of your experience, and understanding that that is actually something that's very important and should be very meaningful to some of you. You know, it really isn't about what other people are doing now, and that's when we get ourselves into trouble, when we start making our experience you know, a reaction, a response, or based on what someone else's experience is that we know or that we're close to. Don't make it about their experience, darling, please. Also, past, present, and future tense. This is a future placement. You got 4, the council chief, right? So what is this? This is the emperor. Number 4, structures, implementations of things, right? Being your own leader, stepping up to the plate, understanding that you're going to have to make those hard decisions for yourself. You know what I mean? You can't rely on other people to make decisions for you. You're doing it on your own. You're doing it yourself. You're putting the energy into it. You're moving forward, right? If there are some projects that you guys want to get started, right? Initiate, try to see that through, get that done. That's positive energy being put into something that involves you and no one else, right? Dignity. This is a very dignified position to be in the future. I like this. I like these cards coming up in the future. Right. Stepping up to the plate. So now, at the very top of the reading, really what you're going into, what you're going towards, what you're... Okay, so this is talking about the... you might begin talks with somebody. There's a process of communication that's coming up. You guys might be involving yourself in some kind of like... some of you might be writing something, starting to write something. Some of you might be putting together like some kind of like speaking event, right? Where you're going to be leading talks with people about things. Something, you know, interesting and fun, because this is the Maiden of Blades. So this would sort of be like the Page of Swords. Yeah. So this is dynamic, fun, enthusiastic information. This could be like social media. Some of you could be amping that up, you know, your social media image. Some of you could be, you know, planning an event based on your social media image, or some of you might be, you know, like putting out the information on social media that you're going to be planning an event, and you want to see people get actively involved in the excitement of that, and trying to, like, you know, just put energy into the idea of it. And you're going to move forward with plans, and, you know, you're going to, you know, just start dialogues and things like that with people. I can also feel that some of you guys are going to be reaching out to someone from the past, maybe, and restarting a conversation. Maybe there was a project in the past that, you know, may have fallen through, and this time an opportunity is coming along, and it's going to present itself for you to have that opportunity again. Maybe, you know, it might even be like a surprise. It might be a surprise. All right, Capricorn, happy birthday. I'm living for y'all. My roommate is a Capricorn rising. And I have Saturn in the first house, like I said. Anyway, if you guys would like a reading with me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. Still doing that holiday special until the end of the week. It's 15 minutes for $20. You can email me and we can set that up. Right now I'm using the Native American Tarot deck. This was a deck given to me by a reader, a longtime reader here in New York City. Lorraine Calcouli.